Welcome back! We found a helpful, well, not so helpful article in Popular Techtronix that stated that we could turn this data recorder into a homing beacon, which would be a useful thing if we want to get rescued. Unfortunately, the actual information on how to do that was not in the magazine. Now the thing is, that information was supposed to be in the game, but like I told you in the first video, the original designer of this game, George Mandel, left to be replaced by Scott Murphy. Apparently, the story goes that they met up somewhere after the game had been finished and they were getting ready to ship it, and Josh asked if they put that really clever comic strip he designed into the game. And Scott answered, well, no, we didn't. We couldn't really figure out what it was for, so we scrapped it. To which Josh replied, but then how can anybody solve the data recorder puzzle? To which Scott said, oh shit, is that what that was for? So yeah, they hurriedly put the information necessary to solve this puzzle in the manual. It was not intended to be copy protection, they simply forgot to put the necessary hints in the actual game. I have no idea how this was not caught in playtesting. This means that they did not have anybody test the finished product who did not know the answer to this puzzle. Which seems bizarre. Anyway, it's not as if Sierra is known for thoroughly testing their games. So the information we need to solve this puzzle is in the manual. It doesn't just give you the solution though, it actually gives you hints based on which you can solve the puzzle. So let's take a look. Homing beacon puzzle. Opening up the data recorder, and who doesn't have one by now, displays a grid of 5 squares. There are 5 sub-circuit plates that can be moved from square to square. Each of the 5 sub-circuit plates has a jumper that can be moved to any of 5 IRK settings: IRK1, IRK3, IRK5, IRK7, and IRK9, and a socket to accept any of 5 chips: the sphenium, the denium, the ruthenium, the ferminium, and the dimtel. The squares that the plates fit into are called the sensor arrays A to E. The player must figure out which plate goes into which sensor array square, A through E, insert the correct chips into each plate's socket, assign the correct IRK jumper number to each plate. All 5 plates are needed to create the homing beacon. We know that the feedback cutter-offer and tachyon transmitter plates need to follow certain configuration rules explained herein. But some confusion about the remaining plates, recalibrating fluctuator, subspace emitter, and particle shield still exists. Of these 3, we know that A. One must be placed at sensor array E, B. One of the others must be set at IRK1, C. The remaining one uses the sphenium chip. We do know for sure that 1. The tachyon transmitter could use the denium chip and should not be placed at sensor array C. 2. The particle shield should not be placed at sensor array E. 3. The subspace emitter should not use IRK7. 4. The recalibrating fluctuator should be placed at sensor array A and be set to IRK9. 5. The feedback cutter offer won't work with the ferminium chip and should not go in sensor array B or C. 6. The plate that uses IRK3 also uses the dimtel chip. 7. The plate in sensor array D must be set to IRK5. So that gives you the hints for the puzzle. And it also gives you a worksheet on the right there, partially printed here. It actually continues down the rest of the page, which you can use to stripe off various options. I've reproduced this worksheet here in a slightly more readable form. And this will allow me to show you how you can solve this puzzle. It's basically a simple process of elimination using the rules we are given. So let's start with the first rule. The tachyon transmitter should use the denium chip and should not be placed at sensor array C. Well, what we can then do is, under the tachyon transmitter, we can eliminate all of the chips except the denium and eliminate sensor array C, like that. In addition, because we know that the tachyon transmitter uses the denium chip, none of the others can use that one, so we can eliminate that one for all of the others. Then, the second rule. The particle shield should not be placed at sensor array E, meaning that we can eliminate sensor array E for the particle shield. Pretty simple. Number 3 was the subspace emitter should not use IRK7. Again, just eliminate number 7 from the subspace emitter. Not much else you can do with those rules. The recalibrating fluctuator should be placed at sensor array A and be set to IRK9. Well, this is actually a very nice rule because it allows us to eliminate all of the other sensor arrays and IRK numbers for the fluctuator. And of course, now that we know that the recalibrating fluctuator uses IRK9 and sensor array A, we can eliminate those from all of the others. Rule number 5 was the feedback cutter offer won't work with the ferminium chip and should not go in sensor array B or C. So again, we can just eliminate those options. And number 6 is a little more vague. The plate that uses IRK3 also uses the DIMTEL chip. However, we don't yet have any plate that has either IRK3 or the DIMTEL chip for sure. However, we do know that the tachyon transmitter does not use the DIMTEL chip, therefore it can also not use IRK3. Conversely, a recalibrating fluctuator does not use IRK3, therefore it cannot use the DIMTEL chip. Just applying the inverse of this rule. We can stripe those off. Rule number 7 then. The plate in sensor array D must be set to IRK5. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do with that at this point. So let's look at the other rules, which apply to the particle shield, the subspace emitter, and the recalibrating fluctuator. It says that one of those must be placed at sensor array E. Well, we already know that the particle shield and the recalibrating fluctuator cannot be placed at sensor array E, therefore it must be the subspace emitter. So we can eliminate all of the others. And of course, we can eliminate E from all of the other plates, because now we know which one uses sensor array E. Then if we go back to rule number 7, it says that the plate in sensor array D must be set to IRK5. And now, by eliminating E, we know that the feedback cutter offer has been assigned sensor array D, so it must also use IRK5. And then, of course, we can cross off 5 from all of the remaining plates. Rule number 6 tells us, again, that IRK3 and the DIMTEL chip are linked, and now we have an additional plate that cannot use IRK3, namely the feedback cutter offer, so that one cannot use the DIMTEL chip, so we can cross that off. Let's go back to these rules. Once again, one of them had to be placed at sensor array E, that was the subspace emitter. The next one says one of the others must be set at IRK1, so that's either the particle shield or the recalibrating fluctuator. And we know that the fluctuator cannot be placed at IRK1, so that must be the particle shield, so we can eliminate the other options there. And of course, we can stripe off the 1 from all of the others, which fixes the IRK number for the subspace emitter at 3. The final rule in this set is the remaining one uses the spanium chip, which therefore must be the recalibrating fluctuator. So we can cross off those others and cross off the spanium everywhere else. And that leaves the ruthenium for the feedback cutter offer, so we could cross that off at the subspace emitter. And rule number 6 again tells us that IRK3 and the DIMTEL chip go together, so now we know that that must be the subspace emitter. So we can cross off the DIMTEL at the remaining particle shield, giving us the ferminium for that one, and there we have it! the solution. Well, now that we have the solution, we can simply apply it. We now know that we have to put the tachyon transmitter in sensor array A, and put the sphenium chip on it, and set it to IRK9. Then we put the... Oh wait, actually I'm doing that wrong, sorry. The recalibrating fluctuator goes there. Tachyon transmitter actually goes in sensor array B, with the denium chip on IRK7. Then the particle shield goes to sensor array C, with the ferminium chip on IRK1. The feedback counter offer goes in D, with the ruthenium chip on IRK5, and then the final one, I've forgotten what it was.
This is the
subspace emitter, with the Dimtel chip goes here, and it is set to IRK3. Now, if we've done that correctly, we should turn it on, and yes, it's a homing beacon.
There seems to be something stopping the data quarter from transmitting.
Maybe it's that damping field that the narrator mentioned when we tried to touch the building. I guess we need to get out of the damping field then for this plan to work. Oh, let's see if we can go through this door. Unfortunately, that probably means that we have to contend with the second dude. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. First, let's see if we can actually get through the door with this keycard. I don't see why not.
Well, 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 the worm is out of the hole. So, you have to ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do I, punk?
You're doing it wrong. Well, it seems he isn't gonna bother us as long as we don't bother him, which is a good thing. We'll see if we can take this punk out, hopefully in a more logical way than by dancing on a carpet and zapping him, in the next video.